Hi, I'm Cheryl Greenway, and I'm the current treasurer for RLI Sunshine Division. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the RLI Sunshine Division expense reimbursement form. So when an in-person event is conducted, there are expenses that are going to be incurred that someone has to handle the payment for, be it the current director, be it the people working with the director. Things you're going to incur expenses for are food for everybody, maybe costs for the facility, could be security, janitorial, printing supplies, a lot of different options. So what we're going to discuss today is how you request reimbursement, the process you've got to go through so you can get reimbursed after the event's over with. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the expense reimbursement form because I think that'll be the easiest thing to try to just look at and walk through. So what you see there is the current session expense reimbursement report. You'll see in the column here, the different types of expenses are already kind of broken out that we see most people are incurring and putting on in-person events. When you're doing these, it's important that you maintain receipts because you're going to need to provide those to us so that we can reimburse you. Example, facility dinner. So if you take the discussion leaders out to dinner the night before the event, then you can be reimbursed for that, and you need to include the information here, showing the date, how many people, where you were at, and what the total was. Receipt, always I've got to have the receipts. If it's under $10 or something very small like that, that's not as important. But generally what we're dealing with here on this reimbursement report are larger numbers, and so we need receipts for everything. Session meals, just giving you the ability to break it down in case like breakfast, lunch, snacks, things of that nature, because it could be you're dealing with different people, different vendors for each one, different receipts. Um, Facility rent, a lot of times that's with a school or some facility that you're at. It could be rent. It could be that you agree to make some type of donation to their foundation. You can also put there if it's something for, um, let's say they want you to pay for security to be there at the event. Or if you need to pay for janitorial, you can still use that same line, but as much as you can, put the description here so we know what you're paying for. If it's not clear on the receipt, just so we can kind of help keep track of, what are most people incurring? Is it for rent or is it for other things? Um, Deposits, that's used if you need to make a deposit before the event. You could fill out the expense report, make the deposit, and get reimbursed. Um, Supplies, printing, uh, toner cartridges for your printer, paper, all different types of things like that would go in supplies. And then if you need to use it, just please give us a good description of what the other is. I ask you to also use one expense report per vendor. So if you're the director and you paid for the session meals and you want to be reimbursed for that, then do that as one expense report. If your registrar paid for the printing supplies, do that as a separate expense report. So basically we have one expense report per individual or location that's going to get a check. You could have a separate expense report just for the facility. But I do want to mention here that we do have an RLI American Express, RLI Sunshine Division American Express card. So if the place you're renting or having the facility at accepts American Express cards, or if the person or company you're dealing with that's providing the food accepts American Express cards and do not charge an extra fee for using a credit card, if you'll coordinate with me, we can put that on the card rather than you having to pay for it out of your pocket and then wait to get reimbursed. Um, then down here, who's the check to be made out to and who to mail the check to. And I know I'm sure you get tired of having to tell me every time your address or somebody else's address, but people move. Sometimes they forget that they haven't given somebody a new address. So just to be on the safe side, please give me where to mail the address to. And then also if it's going to, like for a facility rent, if it's going to someone's special attention, please be sure and put that here also. You'll notice then here, this is the signature of the person requesting to be reimbursed. This is for the district director. So if Betty Lou is gone out and gotten your supplies, then she needs to sign here for being requesting to be reimbursed. And you as director need to sign here that you're approving this expense to be reimbursed. Once you've got this filled out to this point and you've got all your receipts together, please scan it in and email it to the current director, the current chair of RLI Sunshine Division and the current treasurer of RLI Sunshine Division. Because as you see here, the director has to approve it. Our chair has to approve it. And if I don't have that approval, if the treasurer does not have that approval, they cannot issue the refund check. So by sending it just to the treasurer, then the treasurer has to forward it on to the current chair and wait for them to review it and then indicate their approval. So it just saves a little time. And again, I'm suggesting email because the mail system just isn't what it used to be. And so we're trying to use it as little as possible. So please email it. And once we get this and it's approved, I will then issue checks to the different people. You have to allow probably 1 to 2 weeks again because the mail system is so slow these days. But a check will be issued to reimburse everyone for their expenses. That's really one other thing I will mention is if you're in Florida, you should not be paying sales tax on your items that you're incurring the expenses. But if you're in Georgia, you do have to pay sales tax. So that's just a little difference between the two. And I think that's really about it. Thank you.